All right, so let's get into this. Today, we're talking about VSAs versus VAs. And if you're running a business right now and this distinction doesn't make you a little uncomfortable, you're probably not paying attention to what's actually happening in your operations. So here's the thing, everyone thinks they understand virtual assistants, right? Like, oh yeah, I'll just hire someone offshore, save some money, get my stuff done. But what I'm seeing, and this is from working with hundreds of business owners, is that most people are making $1 million mistake without even realizing it. We're going to break down why the cheaper option is actually costing you your business, and why the thing that looks more expensive up front, that's where the real money is. We're talking about the difference between buying a Band-Aid and actually fixing the problem. So let me hit you with some numbers that just came out this year, okay? The average cost to replace one employee in 2025, and this is recent research from Applause, it's between 50% to 400% of their annual salary. So if you've got someone making 50 grand, you're looking at 25,000 to 200,000 just to replace them. Just to replace them. And here's what nobody talks about. Turnover costs hit an average of $36,723 per employee annually. That's just the average. For small businesses, it's often worse because, every person matters more when you're lean. But here's the thing that makes me, honestly frustrated when I see it happening. Most business owners, they think the solution is to just hire cheaper virtual assistants. I'll get someone for $8 an hour instead of hiring full-time. And then what happens? The VA quits after 3 months, or they mess up your systems, or, and this is the killer, they never actually learn your business, so you're constantly re-explaining everything. You're not building anything sustainable, you're just renting temporary help. So the virtual assistant market right now, it hit $19.5 billion in 2025, growing at 30% annually. Everyone's jumping in. But here's what the statistics don't tell you. Most VAs, they're task executors. You give them something to do, they do it, maybe they do it well, maybe they don't. But when they leave, and they will leave, all that knowledge walks out the door with them. You're back to square one. Think about it this way, It's like hiring someone to mow your lawn versus hiring someone to design your entire landscaping system. One gives you a temporary result, the other gives you a system that works whether that person is there or not. And this is where businesses get trapped. They think they're saving money because, oh, the hourly rate looks good, but they're actually creating this expensive dependency. Every time someone leaves, you've got to start over, train someone new, hope they figure it out, deal with mistakes while they're learning. That's not cost effective. That's just expensive and slow motion. This is where virtual systems architects, VSAs, are completely different, and I mean completely different. A VSA doesn't just do your tasks, they document your processes as they work. So when you show them how you handle customer inquiries, they're not just handling inquiries, they're building your customer service system with screenshots, with your exact thought process, with every little detail that makes it work. So let's say you've got an e-commerce business, right? Oliver, from our client testimonials, he made these 5-minute videos showing his VSA his processes. That VSA documented everything, and Oliver doubled his revenue while cutting his work time in half. Not because the VSA was just doing tasks, but because they built systems that could run without him. And here's the thing that makes this, honestly game-changing for business owners. When a VSA eventually moves on, which happens way less often, by the way, you don't lose anything. The systems stay, the documentation stays. You can hand it to the next person and they're productive on day one. Compare that to regular VAs, where, agencies are reporting high turn rates, people bouncing in under 6 months. Every time that happens with a regular VA, you're back to zero. With a VSA, you're building equity in your business. Steven, from our testimonials, his numbers after 30 days, total sales up 251%, profit up 450%. That's not because he found a good task executor. That's because he built systems that could scale. So let's talk about the real math here, because this is where it gets really uncomfortable for most business owners. In-house employees, we're talking $3,500 to $6,000 plus per month when you factor in salary, benefits, taxes, all the hidden stuff. And recent data shows businesses can save up to 78% in operational expenses with virtual support versus full-time in-house staff. But here's the million-dollar question, literally. Are you saving money or are you building wealth? Because when you hire regular VAs, you're in this constant cycle of replacement and retraining. Industry data shows that's where most of that 78% savings gets eaten up. You think you're saving money, but you're actually just spreading the cost out so you don't notice it. With VSAs, yeah, the upfront investment looks higher, but you're not just buying time, you're buying systems, you're buying documentation, you're buying the ability to scale without being there. I mean, think about it this way, It's like hiring someone to mow your lawn versus hiring someone to design your entire landscaping system. One gives you a temporary result, the other gives you a system that works whether that person is there or not. So here's what we've covered today. And this is important because I see business owners make this mistake every single day. VSAs versus VAs isn't about hourly rates. It's about building versus renting. Regular VAs rent you your time. VSAs build you assets. The numbers don't lie. Employee turnover is costing businesses over $36,000 per person per year. The virtual assistant market is exploding because everyone knows they need help, but most people are choosing the option that looks cheaper up front and costs them millions in lost opportunity. VSAs work across over 40 industries. They document processes as they work, they turn your business knowledge into systems that can run without you. And when you can scale without being there, that's when you go from owning a job to owning a business. Look, if this is hitting a nerve right now, if you're sitting there thinking about all the times you've had to retrain people or all the knowledge that walked out the door when someone quit, you already know why this matters. Your business is either building systems or it's burning money. There's really no in between. If this hit home and you want to see what it looks like to actually build instead of just rent, go to prosulam.com and book a free discovery call. We'll show you exactly how VSAs can turn your operations into systems that scale. That's it for today. Stop renting time and start building systems.